Everyone, this is Primetime Combat, and today we are joined by a very special guest who competes for Cage Warriors Welterweight Interim title this Saturday night, Jim Wallhead. Jim, thanks for joining me today. How are you feeling as we start fight week?
Well, thanks for having me. I'm feeling pretty good. A little bit moody from weight cut and low calories and all that, but no, I feel good, and I'm looking forward to the weekend.
That's great. So, Jim, before we preview your next fight, I'd like to recap your fantastic career so far. You have fought on many promotions around the world, such as UFC, Bellator, KSW, and Cage Warriors. You made your professional debut at Cage Warriors 11 back in 2005. So, how did you get into MMA?
I got into MMA by pure chance. I did years and years of judo. I was successful cadet competitive judo player. Won 8 tournaments and British nationals and stuff like that. I went to the Olympics and stuff. And then I drifted away from martial arts and combat totally, went off the rails as a young man. And then got back into doing a little bit of MMA. And I met a drunk Ian Dean at Paul Daly's show in Nottingham one night 18 years ago. And Ian offered me a fight. And I took the fight with no real training. And that's how it all began for me. Just really by chance, a chance meeting with a drunk Ian Dean. That's how it all began.
So that leads me on to my next question. So throughout your career, before you signed to the UFC, you had fought predominantly on Cage Warriors with some stints on other promotions. What was fighting in England like, especially early on when the sport of MMA was not as popular and developed as it is today?
It was a little bit different today, of course. It was a little bit more raw. I mean, I remember people smoking at ringside, cage side, when my first few fights and stuff. You know what? I can't really remember it. Probably been hit too much CTE, but yeah, I just remember it being a lot more raw. But some fun memories as well. The things I can remember, the great people, a very tight knit scene. But it still is a tight knit scene. Everyone knows everyone and supports each other. So in that sense, I wouldn't say it's changed too much. It's just the sport itself just growing in popularity. More media and TV and stuff like that. A lot more professional. Yeah, it's a little bit more raw. And that was about it really back then. Just a little bit more raw and not as well known.
So with an impressive 29-8 pro record, you signed with the UFC in 2016. Although your 2 fights with the promotion didn't go as you wanted, how would you describe your experiences fighting under the UFC banner?
Well, that's a long one. We could chat all night about that. UFC, yeah, it didn't work out for me. Took a first fight short notice. Thought I edged it, didn't get a decision, wasn't happy with my performance, didn't get the split decision that night. Second fight, again, I don't make any excuses. I got a bad eye poke, couldn't see, got caught, got finished. And then all the failed drug test palaver where I cleared my name. I waited whatever it was at the time, 12, 15 years to get to UFC, and it turned out to be a nightmare. From fighting to personal, ended up having a bloody breakdown 3, 4, 5 years ago, whatever it was, whenever I left. To having a breakdown and turning my back on the sport to then, fixing myself and being back in the game like I have now and been on this 3-fight win streak and, opening my businesses, my gyms and, life's ups and downs, isn't it? You can't appreciate the ups without the downs. But yeah, the UFC itself, it was a bit of a nightmare for me, the whole thing. But one fight at a time. I'd always like to have one more there. I need that UFC win, so who knows, in it? But one fight at a time for me. And it was, not many people get there. It's your Premier League, isn't it? Not everyone gets there. So the fact that I got there, I take some pride in that. And yeah, just all been part of the journey, innit? Wish it could have gone better.
And Jim, I know you had mentioned you had sort of personal issues after the UFC stint. You should be very proud of yourself, and you've done really well since then.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
So since leaving the UFC, as you mentioned, you're on a nice winning streak, which has ultimately led you to a Cage Warriors title shot. Your last fight, you won by first round knockout. Talk us through that fight and what you took out of it.
I thought Skaminski was a very good opponent. It was 3 years out the cage because of COVID and injuries and stuff. I thought it was a very tough fight back, to be honest with you. I mean, my 2 wins previous, Abner, who had a bit of success to with a fighter, and Pietrini, they were good wins. I thought Skaminski was a little bit above them, standard-wise. So I thought after 3 years out, it's a tough fight to come back to. But yeah, it couldn't have gone better. Prepared really well. Camp was fantastic. And yeah, it just worked out on the night. You know, I seen him look very deflated after his first takedown attempt failed. And I've rallied on the pressure and it worked out for me. It's a tough old game, you know, rather him than me. You know, he's a top fighter, and it's not nice, you know, when guys, you know, he gets to showcase himself for a minute. But it was my night, and yeah, I was super happy with it, you know.
That's great to hear. So, Jim, if we preview your upcoming fight, you face Mateusz Figlak this Saturday night for the Interim Cage Warriors Championship. How long have you known of this fight, and how have preparations and camp been?
I've known about the fight. It was mentioned not long after my last fight. It's been confirmed about 9 weeks, I believe. Yeah, pretty rough camp. Not getting into it. Pretty rough camp. Couple of injuries. Getting a bit older. A lot going on. A few personal bits. Been a very stressful camp. Last camp was fantastic. This has been the absolute flip side to it. But in saying that, I'm super. You know, I'm in fight shape. I'm fit. My weight's on point. And last week, you know, I sparred absolutely fantastic. So it's been a terrible camp, but I pulled it all together a week out. Talk about leaving it late, and I feel good. My confidence is up. Listen, I've had shit camps before and walked through guys in a round. I've had fantastic camps and fought like a sausage. Do you know what I mean? So this is my 47th pro fight with professional K1. I've had a lot of fights, and it's all on the night. And I am confident in my ability. F what's happened. It's been a shit camp, but I'm fit, and my mindset is at my age now, every fight could be my last fight. If I was to, I don't know, break my hand again, like I've done a couple of times, and I'm out for a year, at my age, that's probably me done. So every fight could be the last fight for me. So I'm just approaching this as this could be my last dance. So do you know what I mean? I owe it to myself to just relax and go and enjoy it. But I enjoy fights, and there's no pressure on me. I perform well, and as much as I'm happy and ecstatic to be fighting for a title I've wanted to fight for 18 years, I'm not really thinking about that. I'm not thinking about the what ifs, not thinking about fighting Reece McKee next, not thinking about the UFC. Just thinking about Saturday, enjoy the process. And I think that I'll hopefully get my hand raised at the end. And if not, life goes on, not much changes. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm in a nice mindset, and got a lot of pencil bang in this camp. I've had a lot of shit. So I'm ready to unleash it all on Matt's head.
Okay, that's good to hear. So if we look at your opponent, he has some nice wins on Cage Warriors already, with one defeat to current UFC fighter Ian Gary. What do you make of Figlak's style, and how do you feel you match up against him?
I think he's a very good fighter. I do rate him. He wouldn't be in this position if he wasn't of a standard. He has, you know, he's confident. He's young. He has age on his side, and a bit of size as well. And he strikes well. He does a lot of good things, and he does wrestle well and jiu-jitsu well as well. He's a good all-round fighter. And I respect him, and I don't overlook him. And the fight is only one punch away on either side. But he hasn't fought no one on my ability, and that's not being arrogant. He hasn't fought no one on my ability, and hasn't fought no one on my experience. And listen, it could go either way and be over quick. But I expect him to have a hard night. I expect myself to have. I'm relishing a hard night. I hope his confidence don't blow his vision. I hope he understands what he's got in front of him on Saturday night. He's got the fight of his life, and I think he knows that. So that's good. I want to have a war, you know. And like I say, I'm approaching this as like I do every fight at the minute. It's gonna be my last one, so I hope he's ready. I'm confident he is. I want him ready. I want him the best he's ever been. I want the test. I want to be tested, and I'm going to bring it to him. And yeah, I'll rate him. He's good. He's good, man. Should be good. It's not an easy fight. It's a good fight. Rate it.
Yeah, and this fight definitely is the people's main event. I've seen that everywhere on media. Everyone's calling this the people's main event. This will be the first time that you've prepared for 5 rounds. How much different has this camp been compared to your other camps, based on the fact that you're fighting 5 rounds?
I fought 5 rounds once before, actually. I've done it once before, many years ago. It was my first British title that I won. So I've been 5 rounds before. And I always train. I haven't really trained my trainer. This guy's following my coach. My coaches are fantastic. Alexis Dimitriadis and Paul Ivans. They know what's at hand. The way they structure my rounds, my rest periods, and they peak me well. I can do 5 rounds. I'm experienced. If I'm not fit and for 5 rounds my experience will carry me through 5 rounds. I can go 5 rounds. Don't worry about that. So my training's been very intense. I've done it before, and yeah, I hope we don't go 5 rounds. That's a long time, but I'm up for that. I prepared for that. It's in the tank, and yeah, 5 rounds makes no odds to me. 1 round, 30 seconds, 5 rounds. I'm there Saturday through to the end, whether that be short or long. 100%. I'm all in, and I'm prepared. I'm confident in my preparation.
And you had mentioned that you think your opponent hasn't fought anyone of your ability. Do you think your experience plays a huge role in how this outcome of this fight goes?
I certainly think it's a major factor. Absolutely. Even if it's just to annoy the hell out of him and make life really hard for everything he wants to impose on me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I think it gives him a hard time. And I've been stopped once in 47 fights. Yeah, he ain't subbing me. He's not subbing me. I don't think he's even taking me down. As much as he wants to try, thinks he can, let's have that. I'm very hard to stop. Yeah, one shot, but I'm a tough old dude with a fat head. So he's in for an hard night, man. He's in for an hard night. Yeah, I've still got plenty left in the tank. It's not like I'm 38, nearly 39 and getting worse. I genuinely believe I'm getting better. Like, I'm in the gym every day for the last 20, however many years I've been doing this every day. And constantly adding to my game, constantly striving to improve as a fighter and a coach. And yeah, I'm coming in. I feel I'm coming in the best me physically. So don't age is a number. I think I'm in a great place, and I plan on showing Matt on Saturday.
That's great to hear. So obviously you had touched on earlier that this could be your last fight or leading towards one of your last fights. With such a fantastic career leading into your 47th pro fight, would a win this weekend be your most proudest achievement over the course of your career?
I believe so. Well, I'd certainly be up there. Like I said, I wanted to fight for this title for 18 years. I never had the opportunity because my teammate and business partner Dan Hardy was champion or always in contention. So, and I was behind Dan in the respect of, he was the top boy and I was, learning my craft. I was a few years behind Dan. But if Dan wasn't around, I'd like to thought I would have fought for this belt many moons ago. So, yeah, it's a big night. It's a big night, and it'd be a great thing for me to achieve at this age, at this stage in my career. But shit happens. Whatever. I'm happy. Life goes on, and yeah, it's a big night. But listen, man, the people who nothing changes. Nothing changes, win or lose. Nothing changes, man. It's always just enjoy the process, in it.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to the fight on Saturday. So to conclude this chat, I saw that you're opening a new gym, as you just mentioned, in collaboration with Dan Hardy. Has this been a dream of yours to open a gym under your name, and how long have you planned this?
Yeah, so we've currently got Hardy Wallhead MMA. That's been open for 3 years now. That's we rent a mat space. I rent a floor above the gym in Colville, a bit out of the way on an industrial estate. We've got a good amount of members and it's ticking over. And we're not closing that down either. We use that as a pro centre and a bit of like small classes there. But no, now we've had some partners come on board and we are opening a huge location, town centre of Loughborough, and it's next level. It's next level. It's that step to try and build ourselves into be a serious contender as one of the best gyms in the country. We've got some great coaches coming on board. The facilities top notch. Premium facility. The business partners Andy and Brett have invested so much into it. It screams class. There's no gyms around it like it around Loughborough, certainly. We're hoping it's going to fly, and we're super excited. This is it. This is a big thing in our lives, and really, we're launching the MMA, the upstairs, the Monday after my fight, and can't wait to get into it and get to work and build some future champions and better the community and give the kids around here something to do, and it's going to be good, man. It's going to be really special. I can't wait.
No, the photos look fantastic. I've seen on your Instagram, and we wish you all the best for opening up your new gym. Is this something that you'd like to do as well after your career? Obviously, coaching, cornering, and obviously helping the younger fighters develop.
Yeah, I mean, this is my job anyway. It's been my job the last, I don't know, probably, yeah, 10 years really. You know, I've been at Loughborough University, being an MMA coach there for 10 years now, and I've always been coaching, whether it's renting mat space, PTs or whatever, alongside fighting for a long time. But yeah, I'm drifting. That transition's coming close to being a full time coach, and I relish that. But you know, when you still got a bit left in the tank, that's why I'm still fighting. I know there's some left in the tank, and when I still perform well in the gym, and I can make a bit of money and do what I love, you know, I love to fight. That's why I'm still fighting, you know. And then, like I say, at this age now, everyone can be my last one. So when that time comes, I'm totally at ease and I'm happy for the transition to become a full time coach. And I love coaching and I love being around the fighters. And yeah, so you know, it's nice. It's nice to have that goal, but also that reassure, you know, not reassure, but that comfort that, you know, when it's time for me to call it a day, it's not done. It's not done. I'm still happy. I'm still doing something I love. You know, I'm still around it. And when the guys fight, Jesus, I get more amped up and nervous than when I fight. So it's like I'm still living it. I'm still experiencing all the amazing feelings and emotions. So yeah, lucky, blessed, very grateful to my business partners and friends who support me. And yeah, man, makes life a bit easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. Jim Wallhead competes for the Interim Cage Warriors Welterweight Championship this weekend in Manchester at Cage Warriors 146. You can still grab tickets for it. I'll put the link down below. Thank you so much for speaking to me, Jim. I wish you all the best this weekend.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much.